Greetings, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Sunday's Morning Build. Today's show is brought to you by the letter P. P for paper and products and pepper nails. Well, we started this one off weird, didn't we? I hope everybody's having a good Sunday today. Looks like this might be our last weekend without a space update. As we mentioned yesterday, the update has been submitted to the various app stores around the world, and we are simply waiting for approval. Ladies and gentlemen, when will that approval come? We don't entirely know, but we hope, because of the popular nature of the game, that it is within the next couple of days. Will we get an update tomorrow? Will we get it Tuesday? Will we have it before Wednesday's morning build so we have more things to discuss that are brand spanking new? I hope so. If you haven't already, grab your coffee, tea, whatever it is you're drinking right now, and let's get started. EMZ, Robert Weary Theo, and Jennifer Shaw. Welcome. Good morning. How are y'all doing today? Jennifer, I believe you are a new face in the channel, so welcome. Hello. Your question, what order do you upgrade? Stars, ability, or gears? Well, unfortunately, Jennifer, the answer is kind of all of them at the same time. They all do basically the same thing, which is to upgrade your character's stats. However, gear also has the benefit of unlocking additional abilities of your characters. Let's go ahead and pull up any random character, and I'll show you what I mean. Collect rewards for our daily login, and then we'll come in here to a hero and pull up just Cook Bart, for example. Now, Jennifer, I don't know how new you are to the game, so if you're just asking for my personal preference because you play the game a lot, then I'm about to give you a lot of information you already know. I don't mean any offense by this, because if you're new to the game, then this is all information that might be particularly useful to you. So if you'll notice that I have a Pirate Cook Bart here who is completely maxed out. All of his abilities are at level 5, his stars are at level 7, and he himself is at level 50. He's at gear level 6, right? This is as high as Cook Bart is capable of getting at the moment. So, upgrading all of the abilities has the direct result of 1, empowering the ability, and 2, maybe adding some additional special effects to the ability that it doesn't have at lower ranks. Upgrading your stars and your level both do essentially the same thing. They will upgrade the maximum stats for the character. Upgrading the stars increases the stat multiplier, and upgrading the level increases the base stat. Now, this might sound different, but in the end, all that it does is increase your stat numbers. So essentially, there's no difference between the two, and you have to do them both. Upgrading stars appears to be the most expensive thing to upgrade, so bear that in mind, as going from 6 to 7 stars, for example, costs 1.5 million coins. Now, what I mentioned earlier about gear level is increasing your gear level will actually unlock more of your abilities. And to show you what I mean there, we're actually going to go to a character that I do not have leveled up all the way. Actually, something that is way at the beginning. Let's say Hot Dog Man. So Hot Dog Man, you can see I still have here at gear level 1. He's at 1 star, he's only at level 4, he's only got 3 pieces of equipment equipped, and he's doing a little nutso dance for us. You'll also notice that 2 of his 4 abilities are grayed out. When I click on, say, the first ability, I can see that upgrading the ability not only will empower the ability with plus 10% damage, but it will also add another effect. Hot Dog Man has a 40% chance to gain skill up. So upgrading the ability will empower it and give it another thing that it can do. Second ability is also available. Third ability, you'll notice, is locked out. and you'll see that it unlocks at gear level 2. If you want his 4th ability, this unlocks at gear level 4. So, the short answer to the question, Jennifer, is you have to do them all. Upgrading your gear level to at least level 4 or 5, depending on how many specials your character has to unlock, is pretty paramount. Upgrading the star level when you can is also going to be very important. Upgrading the actual level is probably the easiest thing to do. Now here I've pulled up Locust to show you Locust actually has an ultimate ability that only unlocks at gear level 6. So for Locust, you actually have to upgrade his gear level all the way before you can get him to his maximum potential. So bear all of this in mind as you go and start leveling up your characters. But I will remind you that coins are going to be the thing that you lack the most often. So what is the smartest way for you to do it? The short answer is probably to start with gear so that you can unlock all of the abilities, but then between stars and leveling up by number, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's also harder to acquire tiles than it is to just simply level up your character, which is just click on the button and do it. So I hope that answers your question. Soon, level 70, gear level 9. Yeah, Tio, don't get too far ahead of yourself, man. Tio, we have level 60, gear level 7 coming first, so let's all stop there because it's going to be expensive enough on its own. You better level up Locust. Oh, Llama coming in and letting us know it is not that easy to level up with the Gold Crunch, and she is absolutely right. The Gold Crunch is pretty punishing. So Jennifer, if you are new, I would strongly suggest, as I do to literally everybody, level up your pirates. They can be the free-to-play pirates if you are not big on spending money in mobile games. That's perfectly fine, and they will serve you quite well. That is going to be Cook Bart, Argenta, Darwin. You're going to get 3 tiles a day for Redbeard. It's a bit of a slow farm, but it is free and you can do it. And then as your 5th pirate, you can either go for Valiant in the arena store or hold your currency until the update, which if you are new, I would actually suggest doing, because Scarlet is coming into the arena store and she is a Buccaneer pirate tank and will serve you better than Valiant. So I would suggest going that way. If you're interested in just leveling up the fastest you possibly can, then the pirate you're looking for is Private LeQuay. Private LeQuay is not particularly good on a Buccaneer pirate team. However, he is incredibly easy to farm because he is right here at the beginning of the Monolith Waste, right here on map number 1, right at the beginning. I have already gotten Private LeQuay up to 7-star level. I haven't paid for him to go from 6 to 7 stars, but he is sitting at all 150 tiles ready to go when I have all the extra moolah to move him along. So starting out today, I already took out all of my Businessman Trent tiles when I woke up earlier today. So we're going to come in here and continue to max out our hiker. The fact that I don't have my hiker maxed out is actually pretty incredible, to be completely honest. Pegleg and bricks and better to get more coins. Oh yes, Tio talking about Redbeard with the pirates. Llama, excellent suggestion to hoard arena for Scarlet. That's what I'm doing. Llama actually is hoarding quite a bit. I was on the Escape podcast last week, as some of you know, and she mentioned that she's got several thousand gems and several million gold currency saved up so that she can just throw it all behind the new characters as they get released, leveling up characters as we can to 60. Honestly, I think she's doing it the right way. But we'll see what actually happens with this update. One of the things that people are actually looking for is the changes that are going to be made to Brickspedition, with not only the difficulty of the Brickspedition, which is supposed to be getting easier, but also some of the payouts. The arena payouts are being localized. That means that most of us will probably end higher in the arena than we have before, because the crunch for everybody to get up as high as they can in the arena all at the same time is going to be removed. That's the biggest benefit of localizing the arena payouts. Now you're not competing with everyone around the world to get your arena payout at the same time. You're only going to be competing against the people in your time zone who are all competing at the same time, which has got to be a lot fewer people, right? There's fewer people in your time zone than there are spread around all over the world. So that should be a very positive change for us. And I bring that up because it means that you should be getting a higher arena payout, which means more arena currency, which means easier to farm arena tiles. So bear all of that in mind with the space update coming out. There's also going to be the pass, the brick pass, my goodness. Again, I can never remember what this thing is called. Llama, help me out here. Booster pass, brick pass. Oh, goodness. The thing where if you're willing, you can basically pay for a little bit of a subscription to the game to increase the rewards that you get. If you are looking to be a dolphin because you're not willing to whale out on individual characters, but booster pass, thank you. If you're in a position where you are willing to pay a little bit of money for the game, but you don't know what you want to pay for, and you're unwilling to go really whale hard when they release a new character and you have to spend hundreds of dollars to get it up, the booster pass is looking like it's going to be your best friend. We don't know how much it's going to cost, and we don't know exactly how much it's going to boost your rewards. We just know that it is going to cost, and it is going to boost your rewards over what looks like a 2-week time period when you can then re-up your subscription if that's what you want to do. We have some suspicions that this might cost anywhere from $10 to $15 every 2 weeks because that's relatively common in other games. Personally, that feels too expensive to me. I think a booster pass that's only 2 weeks long should be $5 or less. I think a lot of people would purchase it at that price point, and you'd see a pretty strong drop off if it was more expensive than that. Even as a content creator, I would have to strongly consider paying $10 to $15 every 2 weeks for a booster pass. Remember, that's $20 to $30 a month. Now, I do pay for some subscriptions on other games, but those other games, there's only one way to pay for the game, and that is via subscription. And even that subscription is less than $15 a month. Netflix is less than $15 a month, isn't it? And that gives you all of those movies and TV shows. So I think a game being more expensive than that is pretty ludicrous. Still, we'll see when it comes out. We'll see what the rewards are. EMZ, I would suggest continuing to go Valiant or whatever farm you're working towards if you're content in placing Scarlet is going to take a bit to get her to be usable. Oh, so EMZ brings up a good point here, actually. I am actually still farming Valiant in the arena because I had started doing so long ago. So I'm going to finish out my Valiant before getting Scarlet. That is going to put me a little bit behind on my Scarlet search, my Scarlet farm. But, and this again, Jennifer, if you're still there, if you have already started farming Valiant in the arena, it might be a good idea to continue. But if you haven't gotten too far, hold on to your arena currency and snag all of Scarlet as fast as you possibly can. She's arguably the best tank in the game, specifically because of the fact that she automatically taunts whenever somebody drops below 50%. So there. Theo, can you see yourself becoming a small time spender when the 14-day booster pass is released, or are you strictly free to play? So Theo, I actually have never been strictly free to play. I know I answered the booster pass question a second ago, but I've never been strictly free to play. I have always been willing to spend a little bit of currency in the areas where I feel like I can get the most bang for my buck. So if you come to the bottom of bundles, I have in the past paid for the one-stop shop when I was new to the game and I was actually short on gold and ability materials and experience tiles at the same time. I have paid for the one-stop shop. I feel like this $6 package is a pretty good bang for your buck compared to a lot of the other bundles in the game. I have also paid for, I think, two of like these types of bundles here. Only the ones that were like $8. So for example, this Locust, obviously I haven't gotten the Locust one, but I have paid for a couple of these style of bundles. $8, unlock the character, give yourself the extra tiles for it if you already have the character so that you can speed up the leveling up process. I have done this if I have found myself a little bit short when an event came out that I really wanted to hit, and that has actually made me pretty good. So the things that I've avoided are the $50 bundles, the $100 bundles, or the $15 bundles that feel like traps. And I know I've talked a lot about the pricing for the Ghostbusters event, but that's basically the perfect example of what I would consider a bundle that is actually more like a trap than anything else. Now, if you paid money to grab the Ghostbusters, then more power to you. You've got to spend your own cash in whatever way makes you feel comfortable. But yeah, if I put money into the game, I want to get a thing. Hello, Angry Birds Plush Nest. And hello, Extreme Gamer. How are all of you doing today? Oh my goodness, look at that smash that they put out on Darwin. Unfortunately, I have to continue to try to take out Redbeard and risk Darwin's death. Looks like we might get lucky, but taking out the opposing Redbeard is such an important thing to do that unfortunately I can't take the risk of leveling up Darwin when I probably need to, because I need to use Cookbart's attack to try and get their Redbeard out of the game. Now in this particular case, that paid off quite well. I got very lucky. I got a good dodge from Darwin, and the AI managed to target some other characters as well, which enabled me to keep him alive a little bit longer. Now, oh man, okay, I really need to get the heal off on Redbeard. I know he has his ultimate ready to go, but we have Darwin following up with a guaranteed crit because of the number of debuffs on the enemy team, which means that we were safe in not using Redbeard's ultimate because it allowed us to get that heal off instead while Darwin actually cleared out the enemy character. Now we're in a pretty good spot to simply auto battle the rest of the match using Redbeard's ultimate on their Cook Bart. Argenta follows up with her attack. We get out with the win. Let's take a look at our time quests here for a second, because we should have... Okay, so we have 1 day and 1 hour left. That's basically today and tomorrow before the reset to get 7 more arena wins. We've got 4 more fights for today. If we can manage to get all of those to be wins, then we only need 3 more for tomorrow. This is an important one because if we complete all of the Grand Champion quests, we get an extra arena payout, right? This is important for you to notice. 40,000 coins is definitely going to be useful. Not super useful, but useful. 6 Brutus tiles, only going to be useful to you if you need Brutus tiles if you are collecting him. Maybe they'll be useful way down the line when you just start maxing out Brutus kind of by default, but at the moment, the most important resource to me is the straight 600 arena currency that you get for completing this particular time quest, because that gives you a free buy in the arena store. Let's pull this up really quickly before we get into the Brickspedition. You'll see that all of the character tiles that you can buy here cost 600 arena currency. So you complete that time quest, you get a free purchase here, buddy. And a free purchase is a good purchase. I got a llama. I got things. I got a $400 trophy team. I wasn't actually going to tell people how much money you spent on the Ghostbusters. I was gonna like let you keep that secret if you wanted to, but there you go, everyone. That's about how much it costs. It sits in the roster collecting dust. But you know what? You had the disposable income and it was important to you to do so. So more power to you. I have a feeling that those guys are actually going to become quite useful, especially with the upcoming updates. Your Egon in particular is probably going to be the talk of the town with the presumed techie meta that might be popping up here with the next update. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know what the rest of your space team looks like, but you might be sitting pretty actually. After this battle, can you go over the bad characters in the game so I know? Extreme, yes, I can. Sorry, I saw your notes right after I started this particular Brixpedition battle. But once we get out of here, which should be in just a second because everything is basically one-shottable, I will go back into the roster and go over that for you. I'm already using Egon against the Day 7 Ninjagos. He's super effective, makes him super easy. Yeah, EMZ, I am quite jealous of you, actually. I know that one of the biggest features of Egon is his anti-stealth synergy. I'm actually looking for Officer Primo to help out in that particular regard, to be completely honest with you, because Primo can clear stealth with his ultimate, but only when it works. The bug that they're supposed to have fixed in the space update. So, Extreme Gamer. Let's go ahead and look at the roster here. I have starred these particular 10 characters. I have put the heart on these 10 characters so that they all show up at the beginning, just making them easier for me to find. Ignore all the city characters for right now. I am trying out something a little bit different than the norm. The city characters are outside of the meta right now, so leave them be. But to look at the characters that are the worst ones, let me rephrase that. Let me actually tell you which characters I would consider to be traps. Because certain characters are bad, but you're unlikely to get them anyway, so they're pretty easy to avoid. But let's go over which characters I would consider to be trap characters, right? Characters where you think, oh, I might pour some of my resources into this, only to find out later that it was a waste. So some of the characters that they start you off with. They start you off with Princess Argenta, and I believe Street Sweeper Sal right at the beginning. Both of these characters are decent. I would probably avoid leveling up Street Sweeper Sal, but Argenta is definitely worth it. Moving on down, they start you off with the Hiker. Hiker is also a really good one to level up. He is very, very versatile and very, very usable. Now, they will start giving you tiles for Magisto for doing your achievements. Magisto is an excellent character and 100% required if you are going to run a castle team, or even a partial castle team with Bernabas, Magisto, or Jester Gogo. But his tiles are very, very hard to get. I have completed a lot of the achievements in the game, not all of them, but a lot of them, and you'll notice that I am nowhere close to getting Magisto up to 6 stars. So if star level is important to you, avoid leveling up Magisto. However, if you're going to go with a castle team, which is a very good team, then you should use Magisto. They also start you off with Princess Verda. Princess Verda is also a really good addition to a castle team, but only to a castle team. So if you do not plan to go castle, avoid leveling up Princess Verda. Let's continue on. Thank you, Llama. Yes, they start you off with Crook Chuck, not Sal. I knew it was a city tank, I just had the wrong one. So, apply what I previously said to Sal to Crook Chuck. So they start you off with Crook Chuck. As you can see, I have my Crook Chuck stuck at level 32. He's only at 3 stars. So this would be another character where I would go, okay, great. They start you off with a tank, and you very quickly learn what the benefit of a tank is. And because Crook Chuck is the only tank you have, you might be inclined to level him up. Stop before you do that. You will probably not use Crook Chuck for anything. At least not until next year when they do another city rework, which they have talked about, but is so many months away that it's not even worth considering. So avoid Crook Chuck. I would also throw in any of the unboxed characters. If you are available to unbox a character through one of the unboxed events and you get that character up to 2 stars, just leave it there because it's not available anywhere else in the game. And so leveling it up is going to get you nowhere. Now, there are a couple of exceptions to this that will be coming out with the space update, when, for example, Scarlet and Castaway Hank become farmable in some of the other stores. So if you actually do get an unboxed character from pre-patch that is now available to farm during the patch, that might be an exception. But generally speaking, leave your unboxed characters alone unless you're willing to whale to level them up. And then only for specific characters, right? Only if you're going to use them. Scarlet, Castaway Hank, both incredibly strong characters in a pirate team. Worth it if you're willing to spend some money to level them up. They also start you off with Chicken Suit Guy. Chicken Suit Guy is very, very easy to level up and very, very easy to get that ultimate ability. The chicken, the giant chicken that he builds that smashes everybody and makes them miss and all that other kind of stuff. The problem is the Chicken Suit Guy is one of the most quickly replaced characters on your team. Is he a solid character? Sure, but he's also a collectible, and very few of the collectibles actually fit anywhere. So he's enticing because he has this ultimate ability earlier than anyone else in the game, and your ability to get him up to gear level 6 is very, very easy. However, then you're not going to use him for anything anymore. So don't level up the Chicken Suit Guy. Similarly, the Cactus Girl. They start you off with the Cactus Girl, and the Cactus Girl will get you nowhere. So just leave her on your shelf collecting dust. And don't farm her unless you are doing it just to max her out at 7 stars so that you can then use all of the extra tiles of her that you get as master currency. But because you're at the beginning of the game, that should be irrelevant to you. Leave Cactus Girl on the side. Don't do anything with her. Continuing on down here, let's see. Blacktron, Dwayne, Naya, Yorick, all of these people, a bunch of Ninjagos, zombies, spooky girls. And then, of course, I have all the characters that I haven't ever even unlocked. Some of these are Brick Pace events. Actually, a lot of them are Brick Pace events. Basil, Yeti, DigiJ, those are all Brick Pace events. We already talked about the Ghostbusters. Lloyd, King Brutus, Master Wu is a master event that I didn't have my pirates ready for at the beginning. Kartovsky, Clockwork, Explore Iggy. Yeah, okay, so that's what we have so far. Now, if you want my opinions on which characters are just simply the worst, then we can start at the bottom and go backwards, and then I'll hop back into Brickspedition really quickly. My go-to team is Cactus Girl, Chicken Suit Guy, Spaceman Reed, Redbeard, and Hiker. Yes, Extremer. That's because you are still relatively new, and these are half of these characters the ones they start you with. So Cactus Girl, Cactus Girl and Chicken Suit Guy, you will be replacing very, very quickly. My suggestion is only level them up until you stop needing to, if that makes sense. Don't max them out. It's just a waste of all of your in-game currency. Reed, yes, as EMZ said, Reed is actually a pretty solid character, especially with the upcoming space rework. So he's not getting reworked, but the rest of the space team is, so he'll have more synergy. He's already a good character. A lot of people use him, even in the top 50 of the arena. So Reed would be a good one for you to continue on. Let's see. Okay, so characters that I would just generally consider to be bad and not worth farming. Explorer Iggy. Sorry, Theo. But, I mean, Theo knows that Iggy's not particularly good, but we were using him to test City Team. But Explore Iggy is not particularly great. You can avoid Explore Iggy. Let's see, most of these are not available for you to grab anyway. Other characters that are not particularly good. The Spooky Team is still a bit unclear if the Spooky Team is going to be useful. They are going to be releasing more spooky characters into the different shops in the game so that you can start to farm them. But as of yet, there's only a couple people using a spooky team in the arena, and they are hardcore whales. They do sit at the top of the arena, so they are getting something for all that money that they're spending, but it would cost you a lot, and it requires some characters that are completely unavailable to you right now because it requires master currency to get Willa, and it requires Basil, which you probably don't have and can't get because he's only available in a brick-based event, so avoid the spooky characters. That's basically what I'm getting at. Ninjas are a decent bet. Hot Dog Man. Hot Dog Man, avoid. Great White. Now, Great White is an interesting case because Great White is on an excellent node in the Monolith Waste that gets you some level 2 set building materials in addition to the Great White tiles himself. And now people are starting to unlock Garmadon. Great White might become more useful. So Great White is kind of like this for me, mostly because of the usefulness of farming him in general. Blacktron Dwayne used to be a really terrible character, but with the space update coming up, he might be very useful. Blacktron Dwayne is also available in the Monolith Waste, so you might consider farming Blacktron Dwayne actually. But yeah, avoiding Hot Dog Man. Go ahead and avoid Chicken Suit Guy. Oh, Fitness Instructor is an interesting one too. Fitness Instructor is decent. However, you're unlikely to use the Fitness Instructor very much. So I would consider the Fitness Instructor to be a bit of a trap. Try, at least at first, to avoid the Fitness Instructor. She may become useful to a team later on, but considering the money crunch in the game, she's not going to help you out in any really useful way, so I would avoid her at the beginning. So we have Crook Chuck, we already talked about him. Scarlet, Castaway, Explore Aurora. Explore Aurora you can farm later in the game. Headley. Headley is not particularly good. However, he is a good part of a free-to-play castle team, specifically in regards to unlocking Primo. If you're uninterested in unlocking Primo, I would also avoid Headley. If you do run a castle team, you're probably going to use Brutus instead of Headley, or honestly, literally anybody else, because your castle team will already have Jester Gogo and Burnibus to tank for you. So you can probably avoid Headley as well, unless you just want to collect the castle minifigures. Minor Clay. Minor Clay is another one who currently is terrible. I am farming Minor Clay because I'm doing experimentation with Grit and Courage and the Fire Station. So if you watch my stream regularly, you will see me farming Minor Clay. However, I would suggest that you don't do that because he's basically terrible right now. Hiker, pretty good. Private LeQuay, also a pretty terrible farm, with the exception of the fact that he can give you that fifth pirate if you need it for the Peg Legs treasure event. So if you really want to go that route, you can level up LeQuay specifically for the Peg Legs treasure event. Otherwise, I would completely avoid him. Businessman Trent, actually a pretty decent character. He hits pretty hard, he has a decent speed, and he does extra damage against enemy tanks, which is always useful. However, it's unlikely you're going to use him unless you're putting together a city team. So Businessman Trent you can also safely avoid unless you want to build a city team. Poppy is currently really, really bad. She has a rework coming out that might make her good-ish, but we are unsure of that one. However, like everybody else on the city, if you are not looking to farm a city team entirely, then avoid Poppy. Just leave her out. Only get her if you want a city team and you want to figure out how to make that courage system work. Right now, that courage system looks pretty bad. So at the moment, I would avoid Poppy. Even with the rework coming out, I would still avoid her. And that brings us back up to the top. Chef, a decent healer who can throw speed up on the rest of your city team. Again, it's unlikely that you'll use Chef outside of a city team, but a decent character overall. And then, of course, the pirates, who, even if you think the pirates are terrible, you still need them anyway because you need to get Pegleg's treasure to get the in-game currency. That, plus added to the fact that they're not terrible, they're actually quite good. So, get your pirates. Okay, while I was saying all of that stuff, lots of comments came in. Let's see what you guys had to say. EMZ got top 10 arena payout last night with Kelvin, Reed, Locust, Redbeard, and Bart. EMZ, how did you get top 10 with Kelvin on your team? Wait, how did you get top 10 with that team at all, dude? What shard are you on? I want to be on your shard. Kelvin, Reed, Locust, Redbeard, and Bart? I mean, offensively, that team's got to be terrible on defense, man. Battling that team is so easy. Extreme Gamer, is Zane useful? Zane's pretty good. Zane is also a techie character. So with the space characters coming out and this new techie meta that people are presuming might be the case, Zane will have more usefulness than he had before. Zane also does a fair amount of damage, and he's got a pretty strong single target hit as well as an AoE hit. So if you want to farm Zane, that's a pretty decent one. Now, Zane is also available, let's see, in the Monolith, right, in the Monolith store. The Monolith store is kind of freebies because you get a lot of Monolith currency. So anything you want to farm in the Monolith store, I would say just go for it because you're going to get plenty of Monolith currency anyway. It's one of the fastest stores to basically clear out. I have my Headley at 5-star. Yeah, so Tio has his Headley at 5-star, so do I, because I just needed him for the Primo event, and now I'll probably never use him ever again. EMZ, you're in one of the oldest shards, and you're still claiming top 10 with that team? That's crazy to me, man. Team is all 7 stars. My shard has all meta teams, spooky teams, Ninjago with a 4-star dojo. Yeah, so refer to my earlier comment. How did you possibly finish in the top 10 with that team if everybody's at the top of the meta? That's insane to me, man. Also, how do you know you're in shard number 4? How do you know like the order? I mean, I can tell the other people that are in my shard, but how can you figure out what shard you're actually in? Like the label, so to speak. Shard 4, how do you know that? In the ME chat. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so anybody who's in Minifigure Empire, there is a Discord server just for Minifigure Empire people, and they have figured out who's in which arena shards by basically just asking you to list the other people in your shard so they can figure it out, and then they have that arranged. I gotcha. Yeah, D's organized them. Okay, so now we're going to come in here. Look at this. Level 32, gear level 4 requires a castle team, which I have thanks to the Primo event. I am, however, going to definitely swap out some people here. I'm going to take Headley out, put Magisto in, and we're going to grab another collectible hero to help us out here. And because this one suggests level 32, gear level 4, we are again just going to auto battle our way through it. Now, Extreme, I realize that putting things on auto battle might not be the most helpful to you. I know that you've seen me do this before, and on the higher boards, we can't do it quite so much because the enemies are stronger. So we actually have to pay a little bit more attention than we do right now. But one of the useful things to see when you do auto battle is to make sure that you fully understand how the AI works on your team. This is going to be extremely useful information for you to figure out as far as the arena is concerned. Because remember, on defense, Your team is just going to do whatever the AI says it should do. So, if you can, it is actually very important that you auto battle as many battles as you can in order to fully understand how your team functions. You want to really be able to look and see where your team's shortcomings lie. And if you can figure that out, that's basically how you create the new meta. Figure out when you are auto battling what your team does wrong. And if there is a character who is particularly strong when you play them, but particularly weak when the computer plays them, then you might want to consider getting rid of them entirely, because they're not doing you any good. All right, let's come in here and see if we can take their Redbeard out of commission. Looks like we can. Shouldn't have much of a problem here. The hiker, ooh, see, like right there, I would have used the hiker's heal, but they did not. Now, I'm actually going to stop the auto battle because despite the fact that I don't need the heal, I want to use it anyway. I want to top up my characters for whatever battle is coming next here. Now, one of the examples that I give for a character that can be very, very strong in your hands but is significantly weaker on defense is actually Locust. Because Locust, even though he's classified as a tank, will not taunt unless he needs to heal. So if he's the only tank on your team, he's really great for his AoE abilities, right? His opening AoE ability then plus his ultimate, which is a very, very solid skill, but he never ever taunts. So he won't protect the rest of your team if he's the only tank on your team, which brings me to the earlier point about how EMZ finished in the top 10 on his arena shard. That's still ridiculous to me with that team. If you have Kelvin on your team and you're finishing in the top 10, what's going on? Kelvin is terrible. However, Kelvin is getting a rework and will probably be really, really solid in like 5 minutes. So everybody be on the lookout for that one. But I digress. Okay. So here you'll notice that I did not start on the auto battle. I actually wanted to make sure to begin by getting the Yuppie out before all the taunts went off if I could. And I succeeded, which was excellent. And then, oh, well, everybody else got one-shotted, so it ended up being like not a thing, but did it anyway. I can't share my secrets, but if you really want to know, I'm always around on the Discord. Oh wait, do you guys what is it? You guys actually chat a lot and discuss like who's going to take which positions, like which spots in a given day? Because I know that there are some shards that have more active people on Discord that do that more regularly than some of the other ones do. Which, I mean, if you can get in touch with all of the people on your arena shard, like, and organize that, then go for it. Spaceman Reed is weak. He was at gear 3 as of yesterday, but I have him on gear level 4 now. Ooh, interesting. Interesting, EMZ. So yeah, then I have no idea how you managed to do that. I have a feeling that shenanigans are involved, but that's all right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're fun shenanigans. Okay, we are not doing the auto battle because we want to make sure to take the rezzers out of the game. Now we're going to continue not to auto battle because I want to make sure to protect my characters so that I can pass a heal around and get everybody topped up. Brilliant. Now that everybody is topped up, we will go ahead and finish it all out. Doc Kelvin is life, Doc Kelvin is love. Yeah, that was what they said in the most recent patch notes. It's so very weird. Kelvin is love. So very strange. But yeah, Extreme Gamer, continue to level up your Reed if you're into the space team. He's a solid tune, and people like him. If you're not going for the space team, then it's, you know, questionable whether or not you'll get any real use out of him. But At least as far as leveling up goes, Spaceman Reed is a pretty solid choice. And with the new meta emerging, that's probably going to involve plenty of space characters, he's going to have more folks to play with. Alrighty. What do we have going on this team? This team is weird to me. This clearly looks like somebody's arena team, but it's just a bit unclear to me how it's supposed to work, if I'm being completely honest. Everybody has attack up already, so I'm actually going to start with a basic attack because I want to avoid, as best I can, Redbeard's counters. So we're going to start by targeting Redbeard pretty exclusively and see if I can get him out of the game. I can, and now I can pretty much start auto-battling the rest of this because I don't see where the danger on this team lies. Egon being on the team, this looks like maybe it's an anti-ninja team. That's my only guess. But there's no other Ghostbusters on the team to help play with Egon and make him any stronger. So yes, I'm still trying to see where the power on this team lies. They're using the castle, which means that to an extent they're relying on Magisto to do something, but he's not really going to be very good at it. Yeah, this team has me a little confused. I think it's odd to throw Egon on this team. If you guys out there can see a purpose that I am missing, please let me know, because I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. All right, I'm gonna use. Oh, Hiker didn't have his heal ready. That's all right. So yeah, synergy on that team, a little weird. I think Egon would have been better if replaced with Argenta, for example. Okay, now I have my Poppy maxed out. I'm gonna come down and grab an extra couple of tiles for the Ice Station Odyssey. Possibly a very powerful set that will be coming out. Or, I mean, it's already sort of kind of out if you count Brickspedition rewards as something being farmable, which most people don't. But, especially with Kelvin and Commander Cold synergy coming out, it's possible that the Ice Station Odyssey might be part of some degree of meta team. We'll see. Remains to be seen for real, but we're all very interested to see what happens with it. Ooh, okay. So, is this going to be enough to take her out? I hope so. Oh, wait. She took the 0 damage because she had the stacks of enchantment. We knew that was going to happen, but now, hopefully we can take her out. We can't because of Magisto's Tower and all of the terrible things that it does. We could probably auto-battle this team, but just in case, I am going to go ahead and do some protective taunting. I probably should have used the ability to clear the taunt off of Sal, but I didn't because I wasn't paying close enough attention. That was dumb. But Sal, are you going to bring yourself back up to full? No, because you're going to be dead first. And then we take out everybody else who is of importance, paving the way for us to clear out Magisto, followed by Hiker Boy. Magisto's Tower, another pretty powerful set, especially if you're running a castle team with maybe an extra magical character on it. I think that there is a meta team out there that is Basil, Willa, Go Busto, and Magisto's Tower. Give it a thought. How would you ever kill that team? Ever. Every time Basil's going to taunt at the very beginning because he's a very fast taunter. And then Willa is going to bring him back to life on basically every single one of her turns. Plus, they're not going to be able to die because of the stacks of enchantment from Magisto's Tower. And as long as Magisto is there and people have counter, then anytime they attack, they heal themselves. I don't know how you would beat it. maybe the team is, you know, significantly slower than it would appear to me, but... Oh, I forgot everybody in this battle starts out with clumsy. That's terrible news. So, we're basically just going to go around and waste an entire turn. I really don't like this particular node. I don't, not that we're supposed to. But more to the point, I think starting off all of your characters with clumsy is stupid. If they really wanted to, what they should have done, I think, is start all of the opposing characters with 100% turn meter. So they just all get to go first. Because it's essentially the same thing, except that you don't have to suffer through all of your characters being useless for an entire turn. Or not even an entire turn, an entire round. I'm just like, what's the point? Clumsy on the whole team? It's ludicrous, in my opinion. Okay, so I know that their Pegleg is about to use his ultimate. I know that he's about to use it on my buddy Valiant, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let him do it. Meanwhile, I am gonna take out Kai because I can in one shot. Thank you, sir. We smash Valiant with Pegleg's ultimate. Alright. Taking out Redbeard. Ooh, but so many misses. And Redbeard lives to see another day. Now he's gone, and we can move on. I'm going to see if I can take out the Hiker here next. I think he's the one that I want to go. He's a little faster than Cook Bart. He gets more turns. He can heal everyone on the team. Now that my team is full, however, we will auto-battle out the rest of this one, which I think will bring us to the final Brickspedition battle for this particular board, which should be... What are we on, day 2? Is it collectibles now? Let's find out. We're fighting? Ah, no, it's ninjas today. Level 50, gear level 6, ninjas. So we will throw in our buddy Scarlet and go to town. I am really looking forward to the update where they fix Primo's ultimate. Why? Because then these ninja battles will become so much easier since I can take away all of their stealth. Thank you. Good night. Gonna DM you a video on a video I got a while back, winning against a meta pirate team. Oh yeah, EMZ, I see exactly what you're doing. Yeah, please do. I'll be very interested in seeing how what this video looks like. All right. Come on, let's get their tank master gone. Lloyd, thank you for being out of the picture. Now, I want to be able to attack Kai next. But I don't know that I'll be able to because of Wu going next. However, if I don't bring him out of stealth, then I won't be able to do anything. All right, let's take the risk here. See if I can keep him out of stealth. I can't because, as I just mentioned, Wu happened. Boo earns. Boo earns. So we'll take out Zane instead. There's Kai. Out of his little hidey hole. I am going to... Yeah, Salty Seas. Let's take the vulnerable off of everybody. Specifically take it off of Argenta, who was definitely one shot from death considering that she was half full and had vulnerable on her. Now we're just left with their healers and support. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. Wu is going to do his ultimate. And now, here's an interesting one. So I need to actually wait until some turns go around to clear some of these debuffs off of me. Because if I go into the next level with all these debuffs on, I am going to get hammered. So instead of clearing out Naya, I'm actually going to go for Wu here because he was fuller on health. Alright, now I don't have much of a choice. Okay, so let's look very closely at how many turns I am about to get before they go and figure out if there is a more useful thing to do than targeting Lloyd. If I can... Actually, if I can get Garmadon out, this should be a lot easier to do. And I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks plus an ultimate. If he dodges, though, it's going to be terrible. I'm going to go for Garmadon. It is between, yeah, EMZ says I'd kill Naya or Garmadon, and that's the other consideration is possibly to get rid of Naya. But I think I'm going to go for Garmadon because I have so many ultimates ready to go. Oh, that's bad, though. All right, let's see if we can get him with Walk the Plank or if he's going to dodge because he's super slippery. All right, that's 7,000 damage done right there. We now have 2 more attacks against him, I believe. Let's see what we can get here. Ooh, now let's see. If I do 140 with 3 stacks of damage over time, or 90% damage plus a 10% bonus damage for each debuff on the target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 150% damage. 140. Skill down. Ooh, it's very, very close here. But I think I'm actually going to use her bullet. And it works! Yes! And we can get a heal off so everybody's nice and full. Now Lloyd comes in and gets his taunt off. Naya comes in and actually just clears all the vulnerable basically off of everybody. Now we're going to start spreading around the damage everywhere that we can. I want to make sure to keep my Redbeard nice and full. I'm also going to pop the heal on Scarlet so that her taunt increases by 2 turns. And now this team should be relatively easy to beat. I mean, without Garmadon, whew, what you doing to me? So, Naya is out of stealth. We are going to swap our attention over to her so that the heals, we can take out the heals. Man, that little sliver of health that she left with worked. All right, going for DigiJ, removing all of his buffs. Thank you, Scarlet. Her massive enemy cleanse is a winner. And now we can auto battle out the rest of this. We've taken care of the majority of the damage on their team. So we have nothing to fear from these level 50 pirates. Level 61 probably would have gone for Naya first instead of Garmadon. Garmadon is very slippery and dodges a lot more than I would like him to. Naya heals up the entire opposing team, but she has less health. So it might be easier to take her out were you in the same position I was, where you were faced with a lot of your characters ready to hit and smack pretty hard. But it worked. We win. We get out. Let's go into our excavation and see what bonuses we will get tomorrow. All foes are inflicted with buff immunity. The other day I said debuff immunity was incredibly strong. I wasn't paying very close attention because, I mean, debuff immunity on your own team is fine, but all foes are inflicted with buff immunity for 2 turns. This is huge. Anytime you see all foes are inflicted with buff immunity for 2 turns, what this means is every single team that you go up against in Brickspedition in that map is going to be unable to taunt. So there are lots of meta teams that you can actually target with impunity without any fear that they're going to defeat you, because they can't do anything to block you from attacking all of their weak attackers. For example, if you're fighting against a ninja team, they can't gain stealth. If you're fighting against a team with Scarlet, she can't gain taunt because they are immune 2 buffs. The one thing you have to worry about is if they have a Redbeard on their team who can cleanse that, or any of the other characters who can remove debuffs. But buff immunity is incredibly strong, especially when fighting against Scarlet and ninjas. Be on the lookout for that one. Tio, going to school tomorrow. Congratulations, man. I hope that your school is doing it the safe way, whatever that is in your area of the world. Lots of schools here in the US are making rather random decisions about what they think safety is for their students. So, you know, we all have our little opinions, I suppose. Ooh, let's come in here, Stalwart Shuttle Captain, rank 29. So this team, they've got 2 healers. They've got basically 2 attackers. That's Redbeard and the Highwayman, and then their Valiant tank. A very good team offensively, but a seemingly weak team defensively. It will depend a bit on the RNG to see how many dodges the opposing team gets, but generally speaking, we should be able to take out their Redbeard, and after that, auto battle the rest. There's nothing else that we have to be particularly concerned about here. The Highwayman is going to do his best to just smash everyone on our team, and there's not going to be anything we can do about it anyway, because we can't get around or avoid his stealth. So, unfortunately, we might as well auto battle, because even if we control the battle, there's just still nothing we can do about anything that happens anyway. So, the taunt is out. Now we're going to come over and focus our attentions on the Hiker. Hiker is going to go down very quickly. Automatically, it will switch us over to Cook Bart because, as I mentioned, Highwayman is still stealthed. But now we're out with the win. If I can auto battle against your arena team, then your arena team is weak, unfortunately. Now, the same could be said of my arena team. My arena team is very weak defensively because it's very, very easy to get to Redbeard because I only have 1 tank, and that is Valiant. If you're fighting me, start by targeting Redbeard and killing him, and then after that, you can probably auto-battle the rest. The only reason why that might cause you problems is if I happen to get a bunch of lucky dodges, in which case, you didn't do anything wrong. Gameloft just decided that you should lose that battle because they do that sometimes. It's aggravating, but it is how it works. Hope not, dude. I hope you don't get COVID. Yeah, I hope none of you get COVID. COVID is bad, and obviously we should hope that everybody is able to avoid it. I wish you all the best of luck in that endeavor. So, Sunday, morning build. We are at a close. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be back. Will we have a space update? Chances are very, very good. I hope so. And then we can look around at all of the newfangled stuff that has come out. We will probably avoid going over all of the space reworks because we've already done that several times and there are several videos of it already. However, we will be... And we're live, so I can't cut those things out. But anyway, we will probably go over some of the things that are coming up that we have yet to discover, like what exactly does the booster pass do? We're very excited for that one. How much does it cost? What rewards does it give you? Is Poppy a viable rework? Once you actually have her using some courage, they've completely removed her ability to res, replaced it with some things that are based on courage tokens. We also have the fix to Primo coming out. We'll be able to see whether or not he's viable. So we have a lot of stuff to look forward to coming up. Let's just hope that the update is ready so we can go over it on Wednesday's morning build. Until then, enjoy your Sunday, everybody. Good luck to those of you who are going back to school. I hope you stay safe. And I hope you learned something interesting. See you later, everybody.